Hello, my name is Russell Myers. Welcome to Issues Unite. So, as I mentioned in my last video, I'm in Facebook jail again for what amounted to satire. Well, it was satire and didn't just amount to it. And we have heard in recent days how the White House is coordinating with Facebook and social media, that they are coordinating together to censor the American people. Now, even before this came along, we had posts that were taken down, and we were, people put in Facebook jail for highly questionable, debatable violations of terms of service which limit our freedom of speech. It's well known that Facebook has been coordinating for years with the Israeli government. If they were taking down posts, anything that was pro-Palestinian, they would actually remove those posts. I had posts of that nature of my own that were taken down. So, we've seen Parler get taken down by Amazon. Jen Psaki on Friday last week said if a person is removed from one social media platform, they should be removed from all social media platforms. This is our freedom of speech that we're talking about. You may not be bothered that, Facebook and most notoriously, but Twitter as well, they use your personal information and sell it to third parties, and sometimes those third parties are not even secure, and your data is breached. You have no idea until after the fact. If we want to fight back against this, which I do, obviously, if we want to actually have our freedom of speech, then we have to take actions. And, I have spoken in favor of social media on many occasions. I don't hate social media. I hate corporate social media that does sell my information, that does hold the right to censor and silence my speech, to keep me from posting or commenting or even clicking like because some algorithm decided I was bullying with a satirical statement. This is not freedom of speech. This is not freedom of any kind. This is our government and corporations telling you what you have the right to even think. Because that is the goal. This is narrative control. This is telling you what you can say, who you can talk to, what you can think. That is the goal. When they limit your speech, they are trying to limit and control what thoughts are in your mind. This is not a question. So, I am starting a project to build an alternative social media platform. And I would like to have some assistance if it is possible. I know many people watching this don't have the resources available to offer much, if at all. But again, $1 helps. Now, I'm planning on doing this on my website, theissuesunite.com, which, if you look at it right now, there's nothing but a login page to a script that I actually don't use at the moment. So, yeah, I've got a lot of work to do, but there are existing scripts out there on which to build social media platforms. The thing about it is that it still takes time and money and effort. And even after you have it created, it still takes money to advertise, to gain visibility, to try and gain more of an audience. Something that we absolutely have to understand is that if we want our freedom of speech without the corporate control, then it is going to have to be on a subscription basis. This is not a question. Facebook and Twitter run on a capitalist model, and that is why they can sell you as a product. And that is why they can censor you if you oppose the corporate capitalist model and say anything that they don't like. Now, there are expenses that go along with creating such a platform. In the long term, the best model would be to build out server farms dedicated to that purpose. But in the short term, you can build it on a website, which is how, of course, I plan on starting out. And other expenses include security, and most of all, it takes up server space and bandwidth, which does not come free. Social media is a real bear where it comes to bandwidth. It eats up a lot of bandwidth. It doesn't matter how simple the format is, as far as media is concerned, it still eats bandwidth, and that does cost money. Now, of course, I'm not expecting this, even once I have it built out, to immediately have a lot of users, so I'm planning on keeping it free for as long as possible. But eventually, it will require a paid subscription. I'm hoping still, as I've been doing, to keep that subscription to be at, $1 a month. And in that case, I won't be able to keep it as, voluntary donations, because the cost of maintaining the bandwidth will become too much for me to take on by myself. This is mostly going to be a volunteer project. Obviously, I'm volunteering. I'm volunteering my time, my effort. I'm paying for the website and all expenses incurred to get it off the ground. I will, along the way, try and seek out volunteers that have coding experience that may be able to help with this. And then once it is established, I don't want this to be ruled by a faceless, nameless, machine-driven algorithm that rules your life. No, I don't want this to, people that are trying to incite violence to have free reign and post whatever they want, or racism, sexism, etc. Not that I actually want to censor those. I don't want to censor those people. I may despise that kind of speech, but I'm still in favor of freedom of speech. Being in favor of freedom of speech means supporting even the speech that you abhor. And this is just a fact of life. Some of this comes down to personal responsibility. If someone says something that you really don't like, then you block that person. You speak out against them. You use your own freedom of speech in opposition to their freedom of speech. And if it all comes down to it, you block them. When enough people block them, maybe they will rethink their stance. But as far as people just trolling and stuff like that, then yes, my volunteer moderators, which we've already got on Facebook and Twitter. If you have a page, you build up a page, then you have to moderate that page. You can invite other people to help to moderate that page until you have groups of people that are moderating. And people aren't getting paid for it. This is all a volunteer effort. So I won't be asking for anything different than what is already happening. But without the algorithm, without the Facebook, demigods telling you that your page will be taken down because of something that somebody else said. This is completely wrong. And this is not going to happen on the platform that I am planning to build out. Anyway, to this effect, I have created a GoFundMe page, which I will post the link below. Or, you can donate through my PayPal account. All of this helps, over time, as it gets larger, this helps me to hopefully, maybe spend less time working a regular job and spend more time and effort to make that platform better and better over time. I don't think that $1 a month is too much to ask for a service where you actually have freedom of speech. Again, going back to why I support social media, if we want to build movements today, this is how this is going to happen. This is how we communicate. This is how we keep each other informed. Even though the CIA released information that, the Bay of Tonkin it never happened. WMDs in Iraq never happened. How would we actually know about this if it was all left to corporate media? Corporate media that fired Chris Hedges and, Jesse Ventura and Ed Schultz and all these other voices that covered anything that they didn't like. Bernie Sanders' campaign being against the Iraq war, the Iraq invasion. How would we know that our government has been funding terrorists? We find out about these things through social media. How would we know about the Frito-Lay workers that are on strike? How would we know? Most people are not going to look up the unemployment numbers. So how are you going to know that unemployment is rising, not falling? There are so many things. You know, how many movements, how many organizations have been built on social media? Code Pink, Black Lives Matter, Black Agenda Report. All these different groups, movements, etc. These have all been built on social media. Would you have ever heard of Bernie Sanders or any of his policies, which I'm not going to debate in his favor at this point. But in 2016, it was a big deal. And I would not have heard of the Fight for 15 if not for social media. You know, the movement right now for universal health care is being waged on social media. When our government lies to us in coordination with corporate media, this is how we share that information. But now the effort is very much on to silence that information. So please, if you can, then please donate $1, $5, whatever you can afford to help build this very real effort of mine to build a viable alternative to Facebook, to Twitter. It doesn't mean you have to give up these other platforms. It just means that the more you get censored, the more you have built up your own connections on another platform which is not going to censor you, which is not going to take down your posts because of political expediency. You can post all of the socialist content you want. You can post all of the memes or whatever that you like. But you're not going to be having your rights taken away by somebody that is seeking a profit and trying to control your very thoughts. So please, if you can, help with this effort. Share this video. Please share this video for me, because I can't, because I'm in Facebook jail. I can share it on Twitter, but that's about it. And I don't spend much time on Twitter. Anyway, so please, share this video. Talk about these subjects. If you can, donate what you can. 50 cents, $1, whatever. If you have skills which you can volunteer to offer in the effort, let me know. And I will catch you in the next video. Thank you.